to the NFC East, a division that certainly has caught us all off guard, at least you and I. I mean, if we want to rerun the tape from week 1 when we said it was going to be the dumpster fire of the league, I mean, maybe they should have canceled the podcast on us right then there, Rich. I mean, that was...
They should have. That was one of our misses, Mitchell.
That was a grade A miss.
That was wide left.
Very much so wide left. I mean, this Philadelphia Eagles-Giants game was supposed to be the hallmark of this NFC East, division rivalry. And the Giants had an opportunity, and they just frankly look like they don't belong, Rich. This is just a downfall back to earth. They're 1-4-1 in their last 6. But more importantly, the Eagles just continued their dominance. Talk to me about this Eagles team. Are they your favorites right now? Have they risen to number 1?
Well, they've been number 1 in the power rankings for 6 weeks or so, 5 weeks, something like that. So yeah, they've been number 1 in the power rankings. I still feel like if we get an NFC championship where they see the San Francisco 49ers coming to Philadelphia, they will have their hands more than full. It'll be a whole different ball game than what they've dealt with before. It'll be a whole different ball game than what they've dealt with that offensive line and the secondary. Defensively, that'll be the best defense they've ever played. Offensively, that'll be the most dynamic offense I think they've played. And so they are playing as well as anybody in the National Football League. Jalen Hurts looks like an MVP candidate still. I mean, more and more each week he's looking like the MVP. The Giants, we knew the Giants weren't going to, continue to be on fire like that. They're coming back to earth. But, Daniel Jones, they still have hope, but Saquon isn't seeing the holes that he was seeing earlier. They got behind early in this ball game, so then they stopped running the football. But Miles Sanders continuing to have the best season he's ever had. 17 rushes for 144, 2 touchdowns. He's the first 1,000-yard rusher for the Philadelphia Eagles in a very long time. I mean, since 2014. And then you got all day, always open, A.J. Brown with another touchdown, another one. And then Brandon Graham, their one loss of the season, he blames himself. He had to play, where against the Commanders, where he thought he didn't know he was down. They gave him unnecessary roughness and gave him a first down. But today, 3 sacks. Turn back the hand of time. And you continue to see why they're elite on both sides of the ball. They have so many big-time players who are just veterans, played the game for a long time on the offensive line. You see Lane Johnson. You see Kelsey in the middle. You just see veteran players who just know how to win. You see that defensive line has so many veterans. I mean, you could go you can go a who's who on that defensive line, and you it's great. But I'm not really surprised by the Giants, fall.
Well, Jalen Hurts is really carrying the team as well. I mean, he's the first QB in NFL history with 10-plus rush TDs in back-to-back seasons, Rich. I mean, this guy has certainly elevated his game over last year. It's kind of starting to shape up with that MVP talk more and more. Does he have a legitimate shot this year, or is it still Mahomes and Allen's game?
No, it's not Mahomes Allen's game. I mean, we just talked about Josh Allen. He threw for 147 today. I mean, team won, and he played solid. He made the plays that he needed to on third down. Some big, huge third down runs, 3rd and 10, putting his body on the line for his team. But you just can't you can't overshadow what Jalen Hurts is doing. His team's record, how he's winning games. I mean, the first quarterback in NFL history to have back-to-back 10 rushing touchdown seasons. And he's just playing. He's leading his team. It's not like he's a passenger on this train. He's the reason, a big part of why they're winning these games and passing and running the ball. He's just making plays, making the plays that his team needs. You got to appreciate that. He's putting his team in a position to win football games. Patrick Mahomes, 3 interceptions today, 3 touchdowns, but 3 interceptions. So his stats are going to look great. They're going to look great in Andy Reid's offense, and he has all the talent in the world. He's going to look great. But there have also been games he's put his team in position to lose those ball games. So you have to take that into account. You just can't look at the stats and say, well, who has the best stats? Looks like Patrick Mahomes. Like, no, whose offense is playing the best? If you put the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Kansas City Chiefs, who would you expect to win that ball game? And I think a lot of people would have the Philadelphia Eagles walking out of that building with a win.
I don't disagree with you. The team that I thought, frankly, could take it in the NFC was the Dallas Cowboys. And today was a little eye-opening. I don't know if they just weren't on top of their game. They didn't take this game seriously, but they got behind early. They did come back and win, which is huge. Bigger picture here, though, Rich, is the call out. Beginning of the season, Tony Pollard, breakout player of the year, does it again. 12th TD this season. Can somebody pay this guy, please?
Mitchell, somebody's definitely going to pay him. It's just not going to be the Dallas Cowboys because they're paying Zeke $15 million, Mitchell. So it's not going to be the Dallas Cowboys, but they're going to enjoy him while they got him. And they are doing that. But again, this is going back to the stat that got produced before the game. The Dallas Cowboys were 16-0 when Ezekiel Elliott has 15-plus rushes. And I look, and of course, Ezekiel Elliott, 15 rushes, a touchdown, game winner at the end of the game. So 17-0 now. But Dak Prescott, again, sloppy with the football. 2 interceptions in this game. It just doesn't, it doesn't feel solid as as you would hope for a team to be a leader. And people are like, why do you have them 5th in the power rankings? Because of that. Because it doesn't feel like a team that you're going to be afraid of. It feels like a team that will run into the San Francisco 49ers again and go home. It feels like a team that could run into the Philadelphia Eagles again and go home. Like, it doesn't feel there aren't many teams that you're like, hey, I mean, they may get out of the wild card round. You would expect that. But if you have to be very careful of who they play in the divisional to feel good about it. You don't feel good about them playing the Niners. You don't feel good about them playing the Eagles. So they can't be higher. You know what I mean? They can't be higher because they'll be a wild card team. So they'll be a 5th, 6th, 7th seed. So the best they can do is be the 5th seed and play the NFC South. So, hey, okay, you got to the playoffs. You play the NFC South team. Maybe you get through them. Maybe it's the Carolina Panthers, and they give you a game, but you win. Or it's your Detroit Lions, and they give you a game, but you win, okay? Now you're the 5th seed. Now you got to go to Philadelphia. You feel good about the Dallas Cowboys with this team they have, with everything, with Dak playing the way he is, with Zeke playing the way he is, winning that ball game. You don't feel that good. You feel like, hey, they're going home. And so that's why I'm not feeling great about the Dallas Cowboys, especially after a game like this, but it just confirms what you know. I mean, the Houston Texans are still a National Football League team, but they don't have the most talent in the world. They're playing with a lot of guys who haven't played a lot of snaps in this league, and they gave them a game. I mean, they didn't want to win the game because they still want the number 1 pick. They don't want to give up the number 1 pick, yeah. Mitchell. They want to come close to winning, but let's not get crazy, guys.
Rich, do you think the Dallas Cowboys, in the event they sign Odell Beckham Jr., does that do it for you? Does that tip the needle a little bit more in their favor for you, or just more of the same?
Well, first off, I don't think they have a chance to sign Odell Beckham Jr. with the information that they leaked. Like, they're leaking information saying he's not ready, his knee's not ready. It was like a slander campaign on Odell Beckham Jr. when he got to Dallas. He had 2 other visits that we didn't hear a thing about. And then he got to Dallas, and it was like, well, officials in Dallas are very concerned that his knee may not be ready this season. And yeah, then you hear something about the Rams saying they wouldn't assign him in August because they got the feeling his knee's going to blow up. Like, you had so much nonsense coming out. You're like, who did he make mad? Like, who did he piss off? Because none of this information had come out at any other time. It's like they're trying to lower the price for him. So I'd be really surprised if he goes to Dallas after what happened when he went on his visit.